There are growing calls for the ACT government to carry out an audit of privately owned buildings to identify which contain combustible cladding. An investigation of government buildings found dozens still have the potentially flammable cladding installed. There are concerns the problem may be even greater in the private sector. Here's Michael Inman.
In the wake of the fatal fire in London's Grenfell Tower 2 years ago, the ACT government carried out an audit of its own buildings. It found combustible cladding is present in 70 of its buildings. But the government has refused to launch a similar examination of privately owned buildings in Canberra. Now there are warnings that uncertainty over the issue is affecting confidence in the property market, with cautious buyers avoiding any homes with cladding.
Once the market senses that things are not as they should be, and the more and more the flammable cladding issue hits the front paper and it's more talked about, the more buyers become aware.
Christine Shaw has been forced to turn down some listings, and that's affecting her business.
I don't want to be selling a problem.
The ACT Property Council says governments around the country are taking a fragmented approach.
What we would be calling for is a nationally consistent, coordinated remediation plan which sets out a framework for assessment and then for rectification works.
Locally, the council has called for government assistance to help identify risky buildings and then work with private owners on remediation.
The ACT government approved these buildings. They gave them certificates of occupancy. They have some duty of care to the owners and the residents of these buildings to say the cladding of the building is safe or it isn't safe.
Building Minister Gordon Ramsay stressed some of the cladding can be used safely with appropriate mitigation in place. And the presence of the cladding doesn't necessarily mean a building is at risk of fire. He says he'll provide a significant update on the work of the Cladding Review Group before the end of the year. Michael Inman, ABC News, Canberra.